Hello class, hello class, good day. So for today, pag-uusapan natin yung mga solving involved in this subject, di ba? So karagdagang information lang to for this subject, which is yung transportation engineering natin na solving, di ba? So take note class, sa transportation engineering natin na subject, more on formula-based lang yung mga solving natin. So discuss natin siya. First one is yung analysis of our highway safety and accident. Diba? So here we have our formula. R is equivalent to A multiplied by 100 million. Then meron ding multiplied by 1 million. So yung multiplied by 100 million, yung tinatawag na accident rate for 100 million vehicles per miles of travel in a segment of a highway. No? So A dyan is number of accidents during period of analysis. ABP natin dyan is average daily traffic na binibigayan lahat sila. Yung gagawin mo lang is substitute mo lang siya sa ating formula. Okay? So, ang dapat nyo tandaan, yung formula and yung mga terms na ginagamit in that formula itself. Diba? So, N natin would be time periods in a year. Then L natin would be length of segment in miles. So, how about if yung hinahanap natin is rate per million? So, imbes na 100 million yung i-multiply mo, magiging 1 million lang siya. Then yung sa baba natin is walang multiplied by L. So that would be A multiplied by 1 million divided by ABT multiplied by N times 365. Ayan. So same pa din, A natin is number of accidents during period of analysis. ABT natin is average daily traffic entering the intersection from all lanes. Then N is yung time or time period in years. So how about yung natawag nila na severity ratio? So that is SR. Total mo lang po yung fatal, then it's add mo or plus sa injury, number of injuries, divided by fatal, injury, and property damage na summation sila. So, okay? So how about this one? No? Space means speed of vehicle. So that is US. No? U and sub S siya. That is equivalent to the summation of all distances divided by summation ng lahat ng time. Yan. So, bibigay lang din yan. All you need is to substitute that one to our formula. Okay? So, ito po, summation mo lang yung D natin as distances divided by yung ating summation of time. Diba? So, binibigay lang yung class. So, how about if ang ibibigay sa inyo is yung N or number of vehicles? Ang gagawin nyo lang po is reciprocal siya ng ating, ito, sum of reciprocal of spot speed. Kasi minsan, binibigay sa spot speed mismo. Okay? So, how about if hinahanap sa time and speed? So, correction lang po. This is UI. Ayan siya. For time, that is CUT. Okay. For time and speed. So, pag time and speed yung hinahanap, that is D over T, then lalagyan mo lang siya ng N. Parang ganito yung space, then nilagyan mo lang siya ng divided by N, which is yung number of vehicles. Diba? Pwede din siya na yung UI natin, nadagdagan mo lang ng N or reciprocal nito. Okay? So yung summation of T natin is sum of the time traveled by all vehicles. We have summation of D, sum of the distance traveled by all vehicles. Then we have our summation of 1 over UI, sum of reciprocal of spot speed. Then summation of UI natin would be our spot speed na summation. And then last one is yung N, which is number of vehicles. Ayan, so proceed tayo. How about this rate of flow? Malali lang siya. That is equivalent to K times US. So yung US na tinutukoy dito is yung space mean speed kanina. Now, Q would be our rate of flow in vehicles per hour. K natin, binibigay yan. Minsan sa yung hinahanap mo. Reciprocal mo lang yan. It is density in vehicles per kilometer. And then, yung kanina, US, which is our space mean speed in kilometers per hour. So, how about if inahanap si minimum time headway? So, ang gawin mo lang is reciprocal ni rate of flow. So, balik pa rin namin sa class 1 divided by Q. So, how about if spacing of vehicles. So that would be 1 divided by 3. And then pick our factor natin would be Q divided by Q max. Ayan. So yung Q natin, that is our specific na rate of flow. Then, ibibigay din yung ating maximum na rate of flow. So, i-divide mo lang silang dalawa. Then, makukuha mo na si peak hour factor. Okay ba? Ayan ka. So, proceed tayo. How about this one? This is capacity of a single lane in vehicles per hour. So, pag we are talking about capacity, that is just V plus T, or V multiplied by T plus L, or length. No? So, S is ang ating average center-to-center spacing of cars. So, before you can, again ha, so before you can solve for your capacity, kukunin mo po muna si S, which is your average center-to-center spacing. So, paano kunin si S, or si center-to-center spacing? That is just VT plus L. No? Average speed of cars times reaction time plus length of one car itself. So, pag makuha mo na si S, ang gagawin mo is 100 multiplied by V divided by S. Ayan siya. So, makukuha mo na si capacity of single lane, wherein yung V natin is yung average speed natin in kilometers per hour. Okay? So, how about this one? This is design of horizontal curve. So, ito yung mga gagamitin natin o na conditions na ginagamit ng mga transportation engineers natin in designing our horizontal curves na mga daanan. Okay? So, first is yung minimum radius of curvature. Ito yung pinakamaliit dapat na radius ng curvature na pwede, or no? It depends upon our E, no? Then yung ating friction itself. Okay, so that is R, that is our minimum radius of curvature, that is equivalent to V squared divided by G multiplied by E plus F. So ano yung mga variables dito? Ang E na yung tinatawag natin na super elevation. So therefore, if you have here a curve, no, na naka-elevate siya, yan yung elevation ng ating curve. Super elevation ang tawag kanya. F would be coefficient of side friction or speed resistance. So depende sa soil dyan. Pangit naman siguro kung soil lang siya. So, depende sa ating friction, sa ating pavement mismo. No? Or sa ating concrete pavement. So, binibigay talaga yan sa problem. No? Substitute mo lang yan. And then V natin would be our design speed. So, parang yung limit na kaya or limit na pwede mong i-travel or i-travel yung sasakyan dyan sa ating curve itself. Then G is our gravity. 9.81 meter per second squared. So, ayun lang. Minsan, ito yung hinahanap. Minsan yung E, minsan yung F. So, reciprocal mo lang yan kasi, no? Change mo na depending upon the situation. Ayan. So, how about this one? Next thing is centrifugal ratio. That is CR. Or pwede din siyang tawagin na impact factor. So, same lang yan silang dalawa. No? CR or IF natin, that is V squared over GR. Pwede din, no? If baliktarin mo, that is W, which is our weight, no? Times V squared over GR. Same pa din yan ng result. Okay. Sorry. This is your centrifugal ratio, while this one is a force. This is centrifugal force. Okay? So, in kilonewton yun siya. Okay? So, V is equivalent to design speed of car in meter per second. G is gravity. R is yung radius natin of curvature. So, binibigay yan, or yung kanina, no? Na na-solve na natin yung R natin, yung radius of curvature. And then, yung CR or IF natin, pwede din siya makuha using yung E plus F natin. No? Or yung centrifugal force divided by weight. Then, may inad ako, kasi pwede din ito magamit. This is degree of curve. So, minsan kasi, find the degree of the curve. Ang gagawin mo lang, 1145 0.916. Ayan, memorize mo lang yan. Constant kasi siya. Divided by R. So pag ganyan, pag binibigay si degree of curve, you can solve for your radius of curvature naman, no? Pakabaliktad siya. So therefore, reciprocal mo lang, R is equivalent to 1145.916 divided by T. Diba? Nagkaroon namin na class. So about this one, design of pavement. No? Design meaning ano yung thickness ng kailangan ng pavement natin o ng road itself. Diba? Thickness. So thickness daw is equivalent to 3W over F. Diba? So yung W natin is yung wheel load. No? Depending upon the situation, kung highway ba siya or pang city ba siya na road or pang barangay lang, etc. Diba? So, as you can see, medyo pag national highway, nakikita nyo medyo magagid at dalan. Whereas kung nasa mga barangay lang, mga purok-purok, no, malilipas lang yung mga roads natin dyan. So, dyan yung ma-determine yung wheel load natin. So, is T is equivalent to the square root of 3W over F. F natin is allowable tensile stress of concrete. So, depende siya kung anong concrete yung ginamit, no? Class A, class B, depending upon the situation. No? Binibigay naman din yan sa. Ito is without vowels, meaning wala siyang bakal. Or yung pagkadugtong-dugtong ng bakal. Lagi na siya bakal ka. Yung vowels is yung pagkadugtong-dugtong ng one portion to another portion. Pag with vowel siya, ayan po, no, meron tayong 2S. Meaning, no, pwede mong panipisin. No? Pwede mong panipisan kung na-dowel ka na kung dowel ka. For example, naning sa portion, second portion sa road. Kaya magdugtong sila. Ayan. Kasi minsan hindi na nilalagyan, lalo na hindi sa highway. Ganyan. Kaya mga purok-purok lang, mga barangay-barangay. Pero minsan nilalagyan nila. So pag meron silang nilalagyan na dowel, medyo maliit na lang yung thickness niya. No? Para hindi naman tayo over-design. So 3W over 2F at the edge. Yung thickness niya. Then sa center, dapat 3W over 4. Ayan. Okay? So, next is the flexible pavement. Ayan. So that is T is equivalent to 0.564 square root of W over F1 minus R. So, flexible meaning pwede siya with dowels or without dowels. So, nilalagyan naman din yan sa ating question if ano yung gusto niyang i-solve. With dowels ba, without dowels, or flexible pavement. So F1 natin, allowable bearing pressure of subgrade. Then R would be radius of circular area in contact between wheel load and pavement. Then number 4 natin, that is thickness of pavement in terms of expansion pressure. Ayan. So that is P is equivalent to expansion pressure over pavement density. So kasi minsan class sa other problems, ang binibigay is expansion pressure and to pavement density. Then sasabihin niya, what is the thickness needed? So gagawin mo lang, divide mo lang yung dalawa. Okay? The last one would be stiffness factor of pavement. So ano yung stiffness factor natin? That would be the cube root of ES over EP. ES is yung modulus elasticity of our subgrade sa concrete natin. Yan yung EP natin is modulus of elasticity sa ating pavement itself. Yan, so yan yung mga gagamitin natin na formulas for this day. Ayan, so proceed tayo sa ating mga examples. Ayan, so here we have our first example for this topic, no? Analysis of highway safety and incidents. So here we have a 20-kilometer stretch of an highway had the following reported accident. So ito yung data niya. We have year, fatal injury, property damage, and yung average daily traffic niya. No? So here we have 5 years. So yung mamaya, yung N na gagamitin natin is 5, diba? So first thing that we need to do in order for us to solve for this one, for this problem is to have our summation ng ating mga accident. So fatal, that is 4 plus 2 plus 2, 5, 7, and 6, that is 24. This one, sa injury natin, that's 324. No? Just use your calculator to compute for that one. Then we have here 970. And average daily traffic, no, in the summation mo siya class, and then divided by number of years. So here we have divided by 5. That would be 1220. Okay? So for that one, ang gagawin natin is, first thing is find the severity ratio. So as we can see, or na-discuss natin kanina, no? We have our formula for severity ratio. So, sige lang natin, and we can come up with our answer. 24 plus injury natin would be 324 divided by fatal natin, same pa din, 24, 324, and property damage, which is 917. And by using your calculator, complete mo lang yan sa class, that is equivalent to 0.275. So therefore, that's our final answer. Okay ba? So about this one, for letter B, hinahanap natin yung rate of injury accident. So, tandaan nyo kanina, we have two formulas, di ba? Yung multiplied by 1 million, and then yung isa multiplied by 100 million. So for this one, 100 million na gagamitin natin kasi given si L. So pag hindi given si L, no, yung isang formula na gagamitin natin, yung L or yung ating length ng ating road na merong data. Okay? So lagay lang natin, first thing is rate of injury accident. So hindi kasali si property damage. Si fatal lang, tsaka si injury. Yung A natin dito. Ilagay natin R is equivalent to fatal, which is 24. Injury is 324. Then multiply natin by 100 million. Ayan. And divided by ADT, yung average daily traffic natin, multiplied by N, or the number of years ng data natin, which is 5, multiplied by 365, multiplied by our length, which is 20 kilometers. Take note, class, yung L dito must always be in miles. No? So, mali kayo if hindi nyo alam, diba? So, we need to convert this kilometer into mile. As we all know, in every 1 mile, there is 1.609 kilometers. So, therefore, cancel out, no? Maging mile na siya. And then, class, ha, yung L dito dapat saka mile. Kung hindi, no, mali ka sa final answer mo. Diba? So, therefore, by using your calculator, compute mo lang yan, class. 24, 324, multiplied by 100,000, then sa baba, 1220. So again, plus 24 and 324 lang yung consider natin. Hindi natin sinali si property damage. Kasi sabi na dito is injury accident lang. Diba? So, hindi na sinali si property damage. So, by that one, our answer is 1257.43. Yan. Final answer. Yeah, how about this one? Yung kaibahan lang nila, class, is i-include lang daw natin yung property damage. So, lahat ng accident or total accident yung dapat bilangin natin. So, sa inyong lahat yung nasa itaas, idagdag lang po natin si property damage. Plus 917 100 million divided by 1220 multiplied by 5, that's our N, 365 times L. Same pa din kanina, no? 20 times 1 over 1.609. So by using your calculator, ang kalabasan po niyan is 4,570.43. 82. Ayan. So, try using a calculator class. Baka mali tayo pag calculate. I think that is correct naman siguro. Okay? Ayan class, so here we have our second example. We have 5 vehicles were traversing a 2-kilometer highway and the following data were taken. So we have 5 vehicles po daw, then yung times nila, or yung time nila in minutes to pass through a 2-kilometer highway. So ang first thing that we need to solve is the density of traffic in vehicles per kilometer. Second would be space mean speed in kilometer per hour. Then third one would be compute the time mean speed in kilometer per hour. So yun yung unahin natin, density of traffic in vehicles. So, kanina na-discuss natin yun sa mga formulas natin. Density would be our K, which is equivalent to our N divided by T. So therefore, substitute lang natin N is for our number of vehicles, which is 5, divided by our D, which is our distance. So if kanina sa example number 1, L yun, no? In miles, dito is D, it's for kilometers. So we don't need to convert this one, so therefore that is 5 divided by 2. Diba? So that would be 2.5. Then this is vehicles, VEH, vehicles per tawag siyan, kilometers. Ayan. So vehicles per kilometers. So we have 2.5 vehicles po daw in every kilometer. No? So medyo maluwag siya. So how about this one for letter B? Find the space mean in kilometer per hour. So kanina discuss natin space mean is equivalent to the summation of all distances divided by the summation of the whole time. Diba? So therefore here, no, constant yung distances nila ng 5 vehicles, which is 2 kilometers. So therefore, that would be 5 multiplied by 2. No, kilometers yan siya. Divided by our time. So yung time natin is different yung times nila. So ang gagawin lang po natin, class, is to add that all. Diba? So 1.8 plus 1.4 plus 1.6 plus 1.5 and another one, 1.3. Ayan po. So, i-center lang po natin to. 5 multiplied by 2. That is equivalent to 78.95. So, this is in kilometers. This one is in minutes. So, therefore, we need to convert that one into R. So, paano pag-convert? Multiply lang natin ito lahat. Wait lang, Palis ko muna. Multiply lang natin ito lahat ng 60. No? Para ma-convert siya. Diba? Minutes. In every minute, we have, in every 60 minutes, we have 1 hour. So, therefore, yung ating space mean speed is equivalent to and 78.95 kilometers per hour. And that would be our final answer. Lagyan natin ito ng final answer na indication sa itaas. And this one too. Okay, so last one is this time mean speed. No? Kanina is space mean speed. Dito naman is time mean speed. So, P yan siya, class. Mali yan na siya pagkasulat. So, therefore, pwede din itong formula na gagamitin mo. But for this one, or for this problem, para mas mabilis tayo, summation of d over t, that is simply summation of velocity, di ba? D over t is velocity. Di ba? Then, divided by yung ating n. Di ba? Yung ating n, which is our number of vehicles. Therefore, if ilalagay natin that is 1/5, no? The number of vehicles, then multiply natin v. So v natin is d over t, d over t. So in every one, di ba? So distance over time. So therefore, lagay natin, no? 1 divided by, distance natin is 2 kilometers pala. 2 divided by our 1.8 na time plus 2 2 pa din. 1.4. You get the point. Yung 2 kilometers divided by its time, per vehicle. 1.4, 1.6, then 2, 1.5, 2, 1.3. Yan siya. Therefore, the answer would be equivalent to, ayan. So I think merong kulang. Ang kulang niya is in minutes kasi siya. So same kanina, multiply natin lahat by 1/60 in order for that to be converted into kilometers per hour. So therefore, ang kalabasan is 79. Ay, baliktad na. Kasi naka-minutes na nasa baba yung minute. No? So minute, then hour. So therefore, this would be 60/1. Ayan. No? Munti ka na. Diba? So mas maganda class if ilagay mo yung mga units para pagka-select sa out mo, ma-check mo if tama din siya. Okay? So this is 79 point. I think hindi siya kasya. So sa baba na lang. Yung UT natin is 79.94 kilometers per hour. Ayan. That's kilograms. Ayan siya. Kilometers per hour. Okay? Ayan po. So we are on our third problem. So here it is stated that in a certain portion of a highway, the recorded peak hour factor or PHF during rush hour is 0.9. So the highest 5-minute volume is 250 vehicles and the space mean speed is 90 kilometers per hour. So first one, we are tasked to determine the volume of traffic in vehicles per hour. Second is density of traffic in vehicles per kilometer. Then yung last one is spacing of the vehicles in meters. So yung uunahin natin yung volume of traffic in vehicles per hour, so specific siya. Binigyan tayo ng peak hour factor, and then binigyan din tayo ng Qmax, yung volume of traffic na maximum. Therefore, we will be using this formula, yung na-discuss natin kanina. Peak hour factor is equivalent to Q divided by Qmax. So substitute lang po natin class. This is 0.90. That is our peak hour factor. Q natin, that is our unknown divided by our Qmax. So take note, Q natin, that is just volume of traffic. So therefore, number of vehicles divided by per kilometer. Volume of vehicles per hour. Ayan siya. So per hour yung kukunin natin. So here we have 250 vehicles, number of vehicles divided by 5 minutes, or time itself. So therefore, we need to convert that one into hours or number of hours. So minutes, 60 minutes divided by 1, kasi in every minute or in every 1 hour, we have 60 minutes. Okay? So therefore, with that one, makukuha na natin si Q. So therefore, gagamitan mo lang yan ng calculator. The answer is equivalent to 2,700 vehicles per hour. Ayan, na-convert na natin yung minutes into hours. Lagyan natin ng line, final answer. Okay ba? So for number 2, hinahanap si density of traffic in vehicles per kilometer. Diba? So vehicles per kilometer, same sa Q, pero iba yung meaning niya kasi vehicles per kilometer tayo, hindi vehicles per hour. Diba? So that is Q is equivalent to K US. So take note, hindi Q yung hinahanap natin kasi hinahanap natin is K. Vehicles per kilometer. That is density, K. So therefore, rewrite natin si formula, K, lipat natin sa kabila, Q divided by US. So yung space means speed natin. Diba? So therefore, lagay na natin, Q natin would be 2,700. Yung nakuha natin sa letter A. Divided by US natin. Saban tas ched class kay Hiwi. Ayan. So 27 divided by US, which is equivalent to 90. Yeah, 9 kilometers. 90 kilometers per hour. So therefore, divide lang natin yung class. That would be 30 vehicles per kilometer. Ayan. Tapos na tayo for letter B. So how about this one? Spacing of vehicles in meters. So take note, your spacing of vehicles is just the reciprocal for your density. So kung ano yung density mo kanina, reciprocal lang na mo, makuha na nimo sa spacing. But for our solution, no, may papakita natin yung ating solving. So 1 divided by K. Ang K natin is 30 kasi hinihingi na is in meters. Then in kilometers to. So we need to convert that one. Then tapos na tayo, no? So vehicles per kilometer. In every 1 kilometer, we have 1,000 meters. So with that one, S is equivalent to 33.33 meters per vehicle. Ayan siya. Spacing. So, yung spacing from one vehicle to another vehicle is 33.33 meters. No? So, pag iisipin mo, hindi siya traffic. Diba? Kaya lang cute siya. Kiwi. No? Kasabata siya. So, ayan siya. Final answer. Ayan, so for our example or situation number 4, we have here a table shows a 15 minutes volume count during the peak hour of an approach of an intersection. So here we have our time stamp, so 6 to 6:15 p.m., 6:15 to 6:30, 6:30 to 6:45, and we have 6:45 to 7 p.m. So with their corresponding volume of traffic for that certain time, we have 375, 380, 412, and 319. So first one, we need to determine the peak hour volume. Okay. Second would be we need to compute the peak hour factor. And the last one would be the determination of the design of hourly volume natin. Design hourly volume of the approach itself. Okay, so for letter A, napakadali lang po yan kasi peak hour volume lang yung hinahanap. So from the word itself, hour, so as you can see, isang oras naman din yung kabuuan nila. So, yan, so unahin po natin yung peak hour volume. So therefore, ang gagawin natin is just to add all our volume from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So lagyan natin peak hour volume. Yan, peak hour volume is equivalent to the summation of all volume. So therefore, 375 plus 380 plus 412 and last one which is 390. So therefore, gamitan natin yan ng calculator that is equivalent to 1,557 vehicles. Okay natin, vehicles per hour. Ayan. Okay. So, lagyan natin ng line, final answer. Okay, so for letter B, peak hour factor naman din yung hahanapin natin. So, what is the formula for peak hour factor? That is Q divided by Q max. Diba? So, yan yung hinahanap natin peak hour factor. So, lagyan lang natin sa that is PHF. Yung Q natin is yung yung kabuuan, while yung Q max natin is yung specific na maximum natin na Q. So therefore, here we have our volume, no? Peak hour factor natin. It is volume, yung kanina, 1,557 divided by yung ating Q max, no? Na maximum siya na volume in that specific time, which is yung 412. Yan, yung pinakamalaki sa kanilang apat. So, 412. Yan. And then, same lang sila ng hour, di ba, class? So, 60. So, gawin natin 412 divided by every 15 minutes siya. Okay? Then multiply natin, convert natin into hours. In every 60 minutes, we have 1 hour. So therefore, makukuha na natin si peak hour factor. Diba? So that is equivalent to 0.945. Final answer. Yan. So about this one, last is design hourly volume. So kanina na-introduce natin yung class that is just formula based, which is equivalent to peak hour volume divided by peak hour factor. Peak hour volume natin kanina, na solve na yan, 1557 divided by 0.945. So use your calculator, yung result niyan is 1648. Same pa din kanina, yung unit na vehicle per hour. Okay, so proceed tayo sa ating next example. Here we have the speed of a car moving on a single lane is 60 km per hour. If the length of the car is 4.2 meters, and the value of the reaction time is 0.7 seconds. First one is complete the average center-to-center spacing of the cars in meters. So kanina, na-introduce natin yan, that is S, diba? Spacing from one car to another car, no? So, lagyan na natin, no? Ito yung formula na S is equivalent to VP plus L. So, substitution lang po yan, class. Velocity natin is 60 kilometers per hour, no? So, therefore, convert lang po muna natin kasi meters yung ating kukunin. So, gagawin natin, divide natin siya ng 3.6. So, pag i-divide mo ng 3.6 class, no? Automatic na siya, kilometer per hour mo may meters per second. Okay? So, muna shortcut niya. Then, multiply natin ng time, no? Reaction time, that is 0.7. Plus, yung ating length, no? The length of our car is 4.2. Sorry. Yan. Again natin 4.2 meters. So therefore, the answer would be equivalent to, na? I-write lang natin kasi pakapangit, na? 4.2. So therefore, that is equivalent to 60 divided by 3.6 times 0.7. Then plus 4.2. That is equivalent to 15.87 meters per vehicle. Ayan. So there you have it, our answer for letter A. Okay, so for letter B, determine the capacity of a single lane in vehicles per hour. So yung spacing natin kanina, magagamit natin yan for letter B, which is yung capacity. So lagay lang natin, no? That formula kasi is 1,000 times velocity divided by RS. So, given naman si V or velocity, 60 kilometers per hour. So, lagay lang natin 1,000 multiplied by 60 divided by our spacing. Ayan. Trace natin kasi. Ayan. Better. Then, S natin is 15.87. Okay, so therefore, just use your calculator. The answer is equivalent to 1,060, 15.87. That is 3,782. That is vehicle per hour. Ayan. So, rate lang natin. Vehicle per hour. Final answer. And so how about this one? Compute the average density of traffic in vehicle per kilometer. So we can compute our density by using this formula, no? So pabaliktad ta spacing of vehicle to na formula that we can reciprocate this one to have our density, di ba? So gagawin natin K is equivalent to 1 over S. Nalipat ko lang sa kabila, no? So 1 divided by yung ating S. S natin is 15.87 multiplied natin by, lagyan natin ng unit, meter per vehicle. But we need an answer which is per kilometer. So gagawin natin, multiply natin to ng 1 kilometer per 1,000 meters. So therefore, and edit lang natin. So it's equivalent to, calculate mo yan using your calculator, that is 64 vehicles per hour. Ayan siya. Final answer. Okay? Sa situation 6 natin class, medyo mahaba yung kanyang problem, pero madali lang ito, no? Maikli lang masyado yung solution for this one. So, basahin muna natin. We have here a car having a weight of 40 kilonewtons, moving at a certain speed around the curve. So, assuming no lateral pressure between the tire and the pavement and considering a centrifugal ratio of 0.30. So first thing is compute the force that will tend to pull the car away from the center of the curve. So that is our CR, no? So centrifugal ratio or centrifugal force. Then we have our influence factor. Kumbaga. Diba? So ang hinahanap natin is yung force. Diba? So we can't use this formula. Yung formula na merong force yung gagamitin natin, which is na-discuss natin kanina. Diba? So that is centrifugal ratio is equivalent to centrifugal force divided by the weight of our car itself. So given naman din si centrifugal ratio, which is 0.3. So therefore, we can solve for our centrifugal force. Diba? So weight natin given din siya, which is 40 kilonewton. So with that, calculator mo lang yan. Sabi ko kanina, mag-real lang to na problem. Ikli lang masyado yung solution niya. So 0.3 multiplied by 40, that would be 12 kilonewton. And that is our centrifugal force. Okay ba? So next thing is, if the degree of the curve is 4 degrees, determine the maximum speed that the car could move around the curve. So, kanina na-discuss natin in class sa ating mga formulas, di ba? That if yung given natin is yung degree, we can determine our R or our tawag dyan, yung ating velocity pala, sorry. But before we can determine our velocity, kukunin po muna natin si R, which is yung radius natin, no? Minimum or maximum radius na kailangan natin. Radius of our curve, kumbaga. So R is equivalent to 1145. This is constant, di ba? So you need to memorize this one divided by our degree of our curve. So binigay naman niya 4%. So divide lang natin yung class. Si 1145.916 ng 4 degrees. Okay? So by dividing that value by 4, we have 286.48 yung ating radius of the curve. Pati yan, yung hinahanap natin, yung hinahanap talaga yung velocity o yung maximum speed for the car to travel in that curve. So therefore, substitute lang natin, we have BRCR, diba? Which is 0.30. Lagay lang natin dito siguro. Dito na lang. 0. Lagyan natin ng semicolon. 0.3 is equivalent to velocity squared divided by gravity natin is 9.81 meter per second squared, di ba? Then yung R natin, which is 286.48. Ayan. So, fix lang natin sa saglit. Ayan siya. Okay? So, therefore, by using a calculator, we can solve for our velocity. That is equivalent to 29.04 meters per second. That is our final answer. Ayan. Okay, so last thing is compute the angle of embankment to be provided for the speed if the skid resistance is 0.12. So kanina, di ba? Nakita niyo yung figure na pinakita ko. We have there a triangle, no, of our curve, no? We have a super elevation. So hindi ko na i-draw yung curve. We have here our angle, and then yan, sulat natin angle theta. And then this is our E. Diba? Skid resistance na natin is 0.12. So, paano yan kunin? Diba? So, this is automatically, kahit hindi binigay, that is 1 meter. So, 1 meter strip tayo. Okay? So, first thing is yung CR yung gagamitin natin. CR is equivalent to E plus F. Diba? Para makuha natin si E. Pagkuha natin sa E, gagamitan natin ng trigonometric function para makuha natin si theta. Okay ba? So, CR natin or yung ating centrifugal ratio is 0.3. E natin is our unknown and yung friction natin or skid resistance is 0.12. So, by using a calculator, we can compute that our E is equivalent to 0.18. And then yung 0.18 yun yung gagamitin natin to solve this triangle. Diba? So, ayan. Lagyan lang natin, we will be using tangent kasi opposite over adjacent or adjacent. Diba? So, magiging tangent theta is equivalent to opposite, which is E over 1, which is our adjacent. So, substitute natin, E is 0.18 divided by 1, then using by using a calculator, theta natin is 10.20 degrees. Okay? So, final answer. Diba? So, madali lang siya. All you need to do is to memorize the formula itself. Okay? Okay, so for our last example, this is the design of pavement. So here, we have determined the thickness of pavement from the following conditions. So before we go on to our conditions, drawing muna natin, no, yung mga positioning ng ating pavements. Here, for example, we have our road. Yan, lagyan natin. Tapos, lagyan natin ng line dyan. Lagyan natin ng 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So, pag tinawag nating center, ito yung nasa gitna ng ating pavement. Center. Then, yung pag nasa kilid, that is yung tinatawag natin na edge. Edge. Ayan. Okay? So, proceed tayo, no? So, ang first condition natin is the pavement is rigid and to carry a maximum wheel load of 60 kilonewton. So, we need to neglect the effect of dowels. So, FC prime ng ating dowels or ng ating bakal itself. No? The enforcing bars natin is 20 megapascal. And use an allowable tensile stress of concrete pavement equal to 2.06 FC prime. Okay? So, we need to determine the thickness for our condition number 1. So, here we have our formula. This is neglecting dowels, di ba? So, pag walang dowels, meaning mas makapal yung ating thickness ng ating pavement. So, wala tayong divided by something. No? Wala tayong divided by 2 or divided by 4. So, F lang yung i-divide natin. So, substitute ka ngayon, Kas. Here we have the square root of 3. So, W natin, that is our wheel load, di ba? 60 kilonewton divided by our F, which is equivalent to 0.06, no? 0.06 of our FC prime. Wherein, ang FC prime natin is binigay, which is 20 megapascal. Ayan siya. Yan na, F pa lang yan. F is, meron siyang quotient or meron siyang constant then multiplied by our FC prime. So, 0.06 FC prime. So, last thing that we need to do is to use our calculator. Okay? So, by calculating that, the answer is 387.30 millimeters. So, therefore, this is our minimum thickness. Hindi po pwede na mas maliit yung thickness ng ating pavement sa ating na-compute because it will result to failure of our pavement. No? So, munang cracks na maguba itong road itself. Okay, so for letter B, condition sa letter B natin is the concrete pavement has an expansion pressure of 0.15 kilogram per centimeter square and pavement density is equivalent to 0.0025 kilogram per centimeter cube. So ano po dapat yung ating thickness if ganun yung kanyang condition. So kanina, na-discuss natin if yung ating given yung expansion pressure and pavement density, yung isang formula yung gagamitin natin, which is yung expansion pressure divided by our pavement density. So ganyan lang po siya kadali. Divide mo lang yung dalawa. So lagay natin 0.15 kilograms. Lagyan natin yung unit para ma-unit check natin. Tama ba yung units natin? Then pavement density 0.0025 kilogram per centimeter. Centimeter cube. Yeah. So therefore, by using our calculator, cancel out. No? So meron tayong mag-remain na isang centimeter. Then pupunta siya sa may taas. Diba? So therefore, this is 60 centimeters. Or pwede ding 60 or 600 millimeters. Ayan, para parehas na lang sila ng unit. Gawin natin millimeters. Okay, so last thing is, ang condition is 53.5 kilonewton yung ating wheel load and maximum tire pressure natin is 0.62. Tapos, we have our pressure is to be uniformly distributed over the area of the tire contact on the roadway. So, assuming that the subgrade pressure is not to exceed 0.14 megapascal, determine the required thickness of flexible pavement structure according to the principle of the cone pressure distribution. So ito po, yan yung dinawin ko kanina. Magagamit natin to sa ating situation letter C. So kanina na-discuss natin yung formula if we are using our flexible pavement structure. So sulat natin yung formula if yung flexible yung gagamitin natin. P is equivalent to the square root of W over pi multiplied by F, then sa labas minus R. Ayan, so before proceed, kukunin po muna natin yung ating R, no? So coming from our stress is equivalent to force over area. Diba? So bigyan tayo ng tire pressure of 0.62 megapascal. So yan lang po dapat yung limit ng stress natin. And then, lagay natin dito, force. Force natin is 53.5 kilonewton. So 53.5, convert natin ng newton times 10 to the power of 3. Divided by area. So area ng ating tire, which is pi r squared. Diba? So pi r squared. Ayan po siya. So by using our calculator, makukuha natin si radius, which is equivalent to 165.73. So therefore, pag nakuha na natin si radius, we can use this formula na. Diba? So gawin natin dito, same pa din, no? W natin or yung P, same lang yan siya, weight or yung force natin. 53.5 times 10 to the power of 3. Convert natin into Newton. Then divided by pi, ang ating F is binigay 0.14. No, subgrade pressure is not to exceed 0.14. So 0.14 minus R, yan kanina, na-solve natin, 165.73. So therefore, by using your calculator, we can compute that the answer is 183.04 millimeters. And that is our final answer. Ayan siya. Diba? So kung flexible road, as you can see, pwede na manifest yung ating thickness ng ating pavement. So I think that's it. So I hope that you have learned something for this day. See you again, class, on our next session. Goodbye.